Hello everybody that's joining me today. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a good day. Hope you can see me okay, hear me okay. Let me know if you can see me and hear me well. And welcome to today's stream. It's a bit all over the place today. So today I'm gonna tilt you down straight away and let's get started. So today I'm going to show you how to make decoupage coasters using Finnabair products, Finnabair tissue paper. So the main thing that we're going to use today is of course this wonderful paper from Finnabair. So this is from the new release. This is one of those that has like two papers in one, two designs in one. So on one side we have these lovely butterflies, and then on the other side we have these lovely vintage ladies, and it kind of mirrors itself twice. So this is the so today we're going to use this paper, but of course both of these really go well together. So if you wanted to, you can make like two coasters with this patterned paper and two coasters with this paper. That will look awesome as well. So I'm just going to put this down now because it does take up a lot of space. Right. How is everybody doing today? And this, of course, this paper here, so the little one, is like a copy of this old Finnabair tissue paper, which is it's like a whole big sheet of this particular design with this butterfly design, which this is perfect for bigger pieces, but I think these new release papers with two smaller designs on each tissue paper are perfect for smaller projects like coasters, for example, because well, this beautiful butterfly that you can see here on this part of tissue paper, I just fit it onto this coaster from, you know, the smaller paper, and so of course this wouldn't fit in all the way onto this coaster, so you know I can still have the beautiful design just in a smaller size, which is very handy sometimes. It's good to have options for sizes. Hello Carolyn. Okay, good. You can see me, you can hear me. Hi Catherine. Hi Liliana. Good to see you. Good to see you. Right. So as you can see, I've already made 3 of these. So today I'm only going to show you kind of one sample on this one. And first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to prime our coaster or paint it white before we apply anything else. So you could you could use white paint, or you could use white gesso. I personally am going to use white gesso, and we're going to apply 2 coats of this. So I'm going to apply 1, and these are plywood coasters. You could use MDF as well, blanks, or you could even just take the coasters that you already have at home and just upcycle those instead. So you would literally do the exact same steps as I'm doing today with your old coasters that you might have lying around at home, except I would also recommend giving them a very light sand before you apply gesso, just to, you know, scratch the surface a little bit so that it has more adhesion. Right, so 1 coat on. So I'm gonna get my heat gun and quickly dry this. So as you can see, this time we have the heat gun. Hopefully it won't be too loud for you now, unlike my hairdryer. just going to let it cool down a little bit for a second. Hi from South Africa. Hello, Tracy. What size are these coasters? Carolyn, these are 10 by 10 centimeters. I don't know if you work in centimeters or inches. I'll just quickly get my ruler and tell you what it is in inches. So in inches, it is just under 4 inches, like a tiny little bit short of 4 inches. 10 by 10 centimeters. Hello, Jill. Yes, these smaller papers, Carolyn, they are great because, like, I like the all of the designs on the big coasters. What am I talking about today? On the big papers. But when you want to do a smaller project, you can't always fit the big pattern onto it. And as me personally, I love to decoupage things, and I love to show off the designs of papers and stuff. So for me, you know, I want to show off as much of the beautiful design as I can. I don't know if you saw my November Finnabair inspiration project. I did a notebook, and that was also done with the smaller version of the solar paper, which I love the solar paper, and it is great for bigger projects. But if I only had that big solar paper, I wouldn't have been able to fit that lovely sun pattern onto the notebook. Right, so 2 coats of white gesso on, and you want to make it as white as possible because white background is going to give you the best color show off as you can get. So let's compare. I have a blank one here, and so it's a little bit dark, and then, well, I can't press it directly over, but it kind of brings the colors out, makes them much brighter. So again, I'm just going to quickly dry this. Hello, Katarzyna. Hello. This is all dry now, so I've already picked out the piece of tissue paper that I'm going to apply onto this coaster, but I just wanted to quickly show you how I picked out what patterns I wanted to have. So again, I just have some coaster spares over here. So what I do is I place the tissue paper onto my table, and then I stick my coasters underneath the paper, and I place it over, and then, so as you can see, the tissue paper is really like sheer and see-through, so you can see exactly what pattern you're gonna end up with. And then I just take a little brush and a little bit of water and kind of go over it, you know, over the paper in the places where I want it cut. So you could cut it with scissors, that's not a problem, but I personally, I don't know, I like this method a bit more. I don't know why, I'm not very good with scissors. Yeah, so, and then you just kind of go over this like that, and then it tears apart really easily. So I've already picked out, this is this was on this side here, so it's like this bit, I think. No, where was it? I can't find it anyway. Well, anyways, this is the piece that I picked out. So this is the piece that we're going to decoupage today. So I hope that that makes sense. And then you have 4 pieces that you're happy with, that you're going to be able to fit onto your coasters. So then to glue it down, I'm going to use soft gloss gel, again by Finnabair. So this is basically an alternative to decoupage glue or any kind of glue that you may use. And I'm gonna apply kind of generous amount of glue onto the coaster so that there's not too much of it. Like, you don't want there to be clumps of glue, but you want there to be enough so that it doesn't like dry out super quickly before you manage to apply your tissue paper. And then I just place it on. So I pick out, I can see, because it's very sheer, I can roughly see the outline of the coasters and what I'm gonna end up getting. And then I place it on, and starting from one corner, I just use my finger to kind of apply it on. Just like this, very, very simple, very easy. And this is great for like little presents. You know, I always like to have a lot of these blanks lying around because I'm notorious for forgetting about people's birthdays or any kind of important dates. So this is great for when you're like me. And then I just apply another coat of gloss gel over the top to seal it in. And then you're going to want to leave it to dry. Right, comments. Okay, your notebook was gorgeous. Love how you did the back of it too. Oh, thank you so much. Hello, Teresa, you made it. Right, so I'm just going to get the heat gun again and quickly get it dry so that we can move on to the next step. Do a little test. Right, it should be dry or semi-dry. Just need to let it cool down before I can test it properly. And I absolutely love this paper, and in general a lot of Finnabair papers have Cyrillic or Cyrillic writing, so this one is Russian, and I speak Russian, so to me it's like, oh, I like it, and you know, this color, I don't know, I'm obsessed with it at the moment. I really, really like it. For our in the last two live streams, we used these kind of tones and shades with the cherubs paper. And now we're using this. And then I'm also going to have another project coming soon using this exact paper, well, this paper but in the big version. So yeah, I'm enjoying playing around with it at the moment. Right, I'm just going to give it another quick little blast. That should do. So next you're going to want to sand the edges off. Of course, any excess that's hanging off, you need to take it off. So just take a piece of sandpaper. Just make sure that your sandpaper isn't like really low grit, so really coarse, because then it's going to scratch the surface of the coaster. something that's medium grit is going to be perfect for sanding off the edges. So something that's too fine, you're going to spend forever sanding off edges. So this particular sandpaper is 180 grit. But again, always keep in mind that 180 grit varies between papers, between the like the composition of the paper. Hi Marisol, you made it! That's great! Lovely to see you. Okay, so we've sanded off the edges. Just need to clean up all of this dust. And then before we move on to the ceiling parts, I want to show you what I did to the back of the coaster. So on the back of the coasters, I have eggplant impasto paint. I thought it was perfect for, you know, this kind of color scheme, because we have something that's like, you know, vintagey and calm, and then we have a little bit of a party in the back. And I'm a very like muted and shabby chic kind of person, so I don't really get to use these kind of more brighter colors very often. So, you know, when I get the chance, you bet I'm gonna take it. Hi Inge, how are you today? And these paints are really thick, so if you're struggling to spread them out, then just wet your brush in a little bit of water, or add a little bit of water into your paint. If you're wondering why we now have a cutting mat on my desk and not just the white desk anymore, it's because, well, not that I think that people are wondering it, but you know, in case if you are, I ruined my desk. I was pouring some resin and I spilt out some resin onto my desk by accident, and instead of cleaning it off, because I'm very new to like resin and stuff, instead of cleaning it up straight away, I let it cure on my desk, thinking that it'll make it easier to clean it up. Instead, it just permanently stuck to my desk, so when I was trying to get it off, I ended up ripping off like the actual coating off the desk. So yeah, don't do that, don't be like me. And I think one coat is gonna be enough here. If you find that once this is dry, it's a little bit sheer still, then you can easily apply another coat. Just gonna get it dry again. Okay, that'll do. Teresa and Catherine. Teresa, you're really gonna expose me like that in front of 59 people? Okay, I'm gonna show you. Look, I don't know if you can see this patch here, but I painted over it with some white chalk paint, just so that, you know, when my cutting mat isn't on the table, so that it doesn't like stick out like a sore thumb, because I am in my living room after all. So I kind of patched it up, but you can really see it on, like if I'm filming a video, you can really see it. So yeah, not good. Right, so next I'm gonna have to seal my coaster. Now, to my knowledge, there really isn't any craft brands that produce something that is heavy duty enough for coasters or placemats that's actually gonna make them like heat proof and stick proof. So this is what I personally use to make my coasters stick proof and heat proof. I've been using this for over a year and it's worked fine. Now this is, again, to my knowledge, like the only brand that does it here in UK. I do not know if there's like alternative brands out there, but you know, if you know of any other brands or anything like that that can give you heat proof covering on things like coasters and placemats and stuff, then please feel free to share them in the comments, because you know, we need that kind of knowledge. But this is heavy duty wood varnish by brand Polyvine. Now that's what I usually use for my coasters and placemats and things like that. This is also in dead flat finish, so it's going to give you this kind of matte, very matte look. Same kind of matte finish that clear transparent matte gesso by Finnabair will give you as well. So I am going to apply, I took a bit too much out here. I'm going to apply 3 coats onto the front and 2 coats on the back, 2 to 3 coats on the back as well. So usually I will do 2-3 coats on the bottom and 3 coats, at least 3 coats on the top, just following the directions of the product. You should not be using any kind of heat guns or hair dryers or anything like that to dry varnish if you wanted to keep the properties. So this is just wood varnish. So if you wanted to keep the properties, then you have to let it dry naturally, which is why I prepared these ones, so that we can carry on with the next step from here. So this one I've already done the edges, and so these 2 I've done the steps that I showed you so far, and I've done the varnishing. So we've got 3 coats on the top and 2 coats on the back. So once this coat is dry that I just applied, I'm going to apply another 2 on the back, and then I'm going to move on to the step that I'm going to show you here. Oops, I used baking parchment on my desk when I using resin, so much easier to clean up. Well, yeah, it turns out the next time when I did it, I used this mat, the back of it, and it turns out like if I spill a little bit, then it comes off absolutely fine. But that's a good idea for like baking paper as well. It looks okay. Yeah, it looks alright from this kind of angle, I think. But like when it's face down, you can really see it. Right, okay. So once we've used our varnish, we can move on to waxing. And you always want to do your varnish before you do wax, because once you've applied wax, if you apply varnish over the top of it, it's gonna roll off. Sometimes it might not, like in all places, but for the most part, you know, wax is a very oily substance, so varnish is gonna just kind of slip off of it and not cover that area and be patchy. So varnish first, then wax. I'm gonna use these 2 waxes, so I have charcoal black and vintage gold here. You can use any wax that you would like. any color that you think will look nice with your coasters. I just decided to use this combination that you can see here, so black and gold. So first I'm going to use charcoal black, which is a matte wax, and I just squeeze a little bit out onto the plate. And then I use my finger to apply it onto the edges, and I kind of smudge it onto the top as well a little bit, and then use my other finger to fade it out. And then you go around all of these. So we've got nice dark edges now. And then you're going to use vintage gold, but before you use vintage gold, I'm going to do the other coaster, because you want to let your first wax set, you know, a little bit, so that when you apply your second color, it doesn't kind of absorb and mix together, which sometimes can be helpful, and sometimes you want to mix your waxes together if that's the look that you're going for, but in my case I don't really want to mix them together. I just want to apply gold over the top, so you want to let it sit there for a minute and dry. You guys are very, very quiet today. Tell me about your day while I'm sitting here waxing these coaster edges. I have trouble waiting long enough and then they get muddy. How long should we wait usually? Well, ideally, I would I would say about 24 hours for it to be like cured. But Teresa, you know better than anybody, I think, that I have the same troubles. So what I usually do if I'm trying to stop myself or trying to let something cure properly is I'm going to apply my first wax or whatever I'm doing right before I go to bed so that then I simply physically can't get back to it and finish it up, and then, you know, let it sit there at least for like 8 hours or so. Obviously I'm not going to be able to do that here, but yeah, you do want to let it, ideally I think 24 hours or so, until it's kind of, but then it depends on the wax. Like some furniture waxes, I think, can take up to a month to cure fully. So, you know, it all really depends on what kind of wax you're using. Right, so let's get that gold out. So this is metallic vintage gold wax. And again, I just squeeze a little bit out, and then I'm going to find a clean finger and just apply it over the top, but not I'm not trying to burnish it in like I did with the black and cover everything. Just kind of skimming it over the top so that we still have little bits of this black showing through here and there, so to get that kind of just brushed on gold look. Oh wow, I missed first part. I'll replay. These are beautiful, yes, and very, very easy to make. Coasters are definitely one of my favorites to make when I'm not feeling like creating anything like complicated. So yes, definitely watch the replay. And right, so can you see the little gold, added gold effect? Thank you, Catherine. Okay, there you go. We are done, so I'm going to have to finish this one that we started with kind of on my own and then tomorrow I'm gonna share some pictures of the finished product. So these are the ones that we just applied wax onto. I'm trying not to touch them too much because wax is still very like wet, not wet, but you know what I mean, waxy. So it's going on onto my fingers, but yeah, there we go. So this is all I wanted to show you today, how to make very, very simple project using Finnabair tissue paper, gesso, impasto paint, soft gel and waxes. And yeah, this paper is amazing, especially in a smaller size, because you get to put it on smaller things. Or you could even combine the two. You could have the bigger one and make some placemats, and have the smaller one and make some coasters. And that's, I think, is a great idea for this time of the year. So yeah, thank you so much for joining today, and I love the grunginess of the edges. Yeah, I think it just kind of fits in with the theme of the papers. They're very like, the color is very like feminine, but then some of the writing and stuff, you know, is a little bit grungy, so we just accentuate that a little bit. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in into today's live stream, and I will see you next Wednesday for the next one. I don't know what we're gonna create, but same time next Wednesday on the 23rd of December. Bye!